and welcome to this new webinar of the GRACE project. This afternoon, we will be talking about citizen science with Maria Vittoria Zucchelli and Chiara Fedrigotti. My name is Agostino Gambise, and I'm one of the tutors of the GRACE project. And this is actually the first part of 2 online appointments with our same guests. And the next one will be next Thursday, and we'll have a more hands-on approach on the same topic, citizen science. Before introducing our guests, just a quick reminder about the upcoming festival, Living with Grace, that will be held in Trento at the Humanities Department from March 26th to March 29th. So I'm sure we'll have the chance to meet in person with many of you here. Chiara and Maria Vittoria will have as well an in-person workshop during the festival, so we'll meet with them as well. And applications for accommodation and travel reimbursement are closed, but you are still in time there's still plenty of time to register for individual workshops and several other events that are open to everyone without a participation limit. So make sure to go on our site, grace.unitn.it, and explore all of the amazing activity that we have in store for you. So coming to our guests, it's my pleasure to introduce Maria Vittoria Zucchelli. She graduated in biological sciences from the University of Parma and works at MUSE, the Museum of Science in Trento. She is involved in designing educational programs on environmental topics. She's a science communicator and manages several citizen science projects in collaboration with universities, associations, and public administrations. In recent years, she has focused in particular on participatory science projects related to environmental monitoring and the biodiversity of human pollinators. Then we have Chiara Fedrigotti. She is a PhD candidate at Boku University in Vienna. She is studying the potential of citizen science for monitoring and conserving species and habitats. She has a degree in ecology and evolution from the University of Ferrara and works at MUSE as well in the scientific research department. Her work focuses on local projects and citizens' engagement in biodiversity monitoring through a citizen science approach. And her main research interests include the evolution of alpine landscapes, human-environment interactions, and the conservation of alpine biodiversity. So thank you both for listening, for being here with us today. And with that, I hand the floor over to Chiara and Maria Vittoria.
Thank you, Agostino, and good evening, everyone. I must confess that it's the first time that I face such a long presentation in English, so I hope I can actually deliver it. Anyway, as you know, citizens and climate are the 2 keywords guiding our presentation today. And now I try to share my screen. Let's see if it works. Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So today we've chosen to bring these 2 elements, citizens and climate, into a dialogue by looking at them through a specific point of view, that of participatory science, also known as citizen science. Well, we know that sitting in front of a screen for an hour and a half it isn't exactly something thrilling. So while most of our practical activity at the end of the month will happen during the workshop, we'll do our best to keep things interactive also today. So please feel free also to jump into discussion anytime with doubts, questions, or any reflections that you could have during the presentation. So I start on this promise right away with a quick poll on Menti. This helps us get to know your background and also to understand who is in our audience today among you. So on the right side of the slide, you'll see a QR code. So please scan it with your phone. I guess that you are quite familiar with this kind of things. And as soon as we are ready, I switch the screen to follow the live results. As a first question, we would like to know where you are joining us from. So you should see a map on your phone when you can drop a pin on your home city if everything works correctly, just to see where you are from. Let's see if some pins appears. Okay, we have some guests from Germany, also from Scotland, I guess, and a lot of people also from Italy. So nice. Let's see if we can move on the other question. I don't know why in the full screen mode show response. Oh, okay, now it works. Sorry. Okay, great. So we have a strong representation from the center of Italy. Okay. So second question, what type of school do you teach in? So if I recall correctly, you should be all high school teachers. So I've included entries for that level of education. But if you don't find yours, you can also select other. Okay, so grammar school and technical school. Maybe someone that that teaches in the other type can tell us what kind of school is it or not. Vocational school? No one from vocational school? Okay, so quite a mix of school. Then we have your subjects. This is especially useful for our next meeting when we will dive into how citizen science fits into various disciplines. So we have a lot of foreign languages, someone from natural sciences. Okay, a nice range of subjects, I would say. That's important for our activity. Also, I'm quite curious about the other categories. Okay. We always have two people missing. I don't know why. But I move on. And then just a couple of questions about your relationship with citizen science. The first question is, how much do you know citizen science on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 being never heard about it and 5 being I'm an expert of citizen science? So it seems we are quite in the middle. Nice. So at least you heard about it. That's important. Okay. Then again, okay, what pops into your head when you hear citizen science, regardless your familiarity with it? So science and citizens, obviously. Local survey, nature, science for everyone. Very good. Responsibility, that's an important word. Let's see if we reach the 15 participants. No, we've lost someone. And finally, the big question. Okay, so have you ever joined a citizen science project with your students or classes? So yeah, we have 3 teachers that have already joined and experienced a citizen science project. That's important. And 12 people that have never joined any citizen science projects. So great. So thanks again for participating. This is incredibly helpful for us to also to tailor the content we are about to explore. So let me go back again to the presentation. Okay, so today's session is divided into 3 main parts. In the first 2, we will define the boundaries of citizen science, looking especially at its origins and characteristics. Then to wrap things up, my colleague, Maria Vittoria, will help us connect all these concepts to the climate, exploring how citizen engagement works within climate change research. So let's begin our journey with a brief historical overview. This might seem like an extra step in our presentation, but I truly believe that knowing the history of a word is not only fascinating, but it also allows us to appreciate its nuances and use it also more consciously. And in the case of citizen science, I find that the history of the word is particularly pleasant, at least for me. It's particularly pleasant, but I hope also for you. And first off, even though citizen science is a buzzword today, it was only officially added at the Oxford English Dictionary in 2014 under this definition: the scientific work undertaken by members of the general public, often in collaboration with or under the direction of professional scientists and scientific institutions. However, despite its young age, if we look back at the history of science, we see that this practice has much deeper roots. In particular, there are 3 phases of modern science that are key to our discussions. Modern science, inaugurated by Galileo Galilei, actually began in an era before the word scientist was even invented. So at that time, we are between the 17th and 18th centuries, practically everyone was a citizen scientist. The scientific community was made of noblemen and women curious about natural phenomena and dedicated themselves to the observation of nature without any formal scientific education. In this era, we find endless examples of what here I call like citizen science ante litteram. I've chosen 4 stories for today out of hundreds possible, just to give you a hint about how fun and curious it can be to discover these characters, also with your students. Let's start with Edmund Halley, the famous astronomer who named the famous comet. And in 1715, he wanted to study a solar eclipse. A few days before the event, he published an article in the newspaper inviting the curious to observe the event and send him the exact start and end times. He received a dozen of reports and successfully calculated the moon's speed and velocity. And curiously, that's very, very fun. The professors at Oxford saw nothing due to clouds, and those at Cambridge were so disorganized that they missed the timing entirely. So citizens' contribution was fundamental in this case. And equally interesting are the stories of Maria Sibylla Merian and Mary Anning. Maria Sibylla Merian was a painter that lived at the end of the 17th century, and she's considered a founder of modern entomology, studied insects metamorphosis, and led her own expedition as a woman in Suriname. Similarly, Mary Anning went from selling beach fossils to tourists to becoming a pioneer of paleontology. And last, but not least, we also have Thomas Jefferson, who, beyond being the 3rd US president, was also a meteorology enthusiast who created a data collection network across the United States that essentially predated the National Weather Service. So hearing at these stories, you can easily understand that at that time, it was really hard to draw a clean line between who was a scientist and who wasn't. But this changed during the 19th century with the professionalization of science, but above all with the invention of the word scientist. I don't know if you know the story behind the word scientist, but it's another very interesting story because the word was first coined in 1834 1934 by William Whewell, who proposed it because he needed a gender-neutral term to describe the work of Mary Somerville, who published a masterpiece on the connection of the physical sciences. As men of science obviously didn't fit with Mary Somerville, and also to move away from the term philosophers that was not approved by contemporary intellectuals like, for example, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and also others. And as the term spread, a gap grew between the scientific world and also the general public. So from 1834, we had to wait until 1979 for the term citizen science to officially appear. Curiously, we see it first in a issue of the New Scientist on ufology, so quite a strange subject, in which science was accused of having eliminated the figure, the role of the citizen scientist, as you can also read in the quote here. And a few years later, we also find the same term, citizen science, in the Technology Review published by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, in which the article Labs for the Environment told of some positive experiences of citizen science emerged in those years. So somehow these two publications mark the transition to modern citizen science. But before we dive deeper in this second part, I would stop for a moment just to ask you how you are, if you are fine, just to understand if there are any comments so far or questions. Otherwise, we can also move on if there are no particular comments. I cannot see you in this moment because I have my presentation on the screen, so I don't know.
Yes, you can write in the chat if you
Okay.
have anything to add, or you can raise your hand, and I can read to you if anything pops up.
Perfect. Thank you.
Everything is okay. I think you can't see us. It's a little problem, but it's not. We are hearing what you're saying very clearly. So don't worry. You can move on. Thank you for this explanation. Very clear.
Great.
Thank you, Chiara.
Thank you for the feedback. It's important for me. Okay, so let's move on. And I start once again with the definition of citizen science, but this time you can read the version approved by the European Citizen Science Association that was founded in 2014. Which defines citizen science as projects that actively involve citizens in scientific endeavor that generates new knowledge or understanding. So, like all the definitions, it is something very generic, which can include a great variety and diversity of activities that not necessarily correspond to the real concept of citizen science. That's why with the multiplication of initiatives, it became necessary to define some stakes, some principles that would allow us to distinguish what is citizen science from what instead is not. Thus, the 10 principles of citizen science have been developed. You can also scan the QR code to access the full version in multi-language versions. What are the essential of these principles? First of all, as you can imagine, the active involvement of participants oriented to the resolution of a research question. Without a research question, we are not doing citizen science. This is really, really important. Then there is the mutual benefit, which must concern both the researcher and the volunteers who participate, and which usually translates into new skills, training opportunities, or also sometimes small prizes or acknowledgements. Then in a citizen science project, volunteers always receive feedback from the researchers and updates regarding the progress of the project and the results achieved. And finally, citizen science always provides for a control on the collected data and an evaluation of the impacts and the effectiveness of an initiative or a project. So on the basis of these principles, I would now like to propose you a little game. Let's say like this. In the next 3 slides, we are going to meet 3 different personas or vignettes, and starting from the elements I've just described you, so the active involvement, mutual benefit, feedback, and evaluation, you should tell me if this vignette describes a citizen science project or not. I don't know, tell me, because I cannot see you. So, first vignette. Peter takes part in a butterfly project in his hometown, Leipzig. Together with other citizens of different ages and backgrounds, he participates in a series of workshops with entomologists to learn about butterflies, how to attract them into his garden, and how to monitor them. Over the course of the project, he learns a lot about the conservation of insect species in urban environments and how he can promote conservation interventions in his city. So, according to your opinion, is this citizen science or not? Let's see if I can see you somehow. Okay, now I can see you. Great. So, is this citizen science for you or not? You can also open your microphone if you like. It's not an exam, so don't worry. Okay, someone say yes, someone say no. And I wouldn't consider this citizen science for a very simple aspect that there is not actual research project. We don't have a research question in this case. Okay, so we cannot consider this citizen science because we are doing maybe nature education, environmental education, but we are not doing citizen science because there is not a research project behind all these kind of activities. Okay, let's try the second vignette. So Dorothea is a photographer in Katowice, Poland, and she specializes in sharing images of interesting wildflowers and insects on Flickr. She is taking part with groups of photographers who are interested in the beauty of insect photography. Lena, an ecologist at the university, is scanning these groups regularly and using the images to identify invasive species, some of which are captured because they are often unfamiliar or visually interesting. Lena uses her finding with public authorities to support environmental management and also comments on Flickr to communicate with the photographers. So the question again is is this citizen science or not? That's difficult. Okay, I see most of positive thumbs, many doubtful faces. Okay. Yes, this is quite a borderline case. It's true that Lena put some comments in the Flickr sections, but I would consider this kind of project more a passive use of social media. So as a researcher, I just take the photos from the social media uploaded by the people. I use them obviously also to inform policy. This is a very important aspect, but the mutual benefit dimension is not accomplished in this case. So we cannot consider this kind of project citizen science again. Okay, so let's try with the third vignette, just to give a possible suggestion about how a citizen science project can be. So Mia, we are in the school environment. Mia is an 8-year-old girl from Graz, Austria, whose parents are divorced. In school, she was approached by her teacher if she wanted to participate in drawing cartoons. Together with other kids her age and assisted by a child psychology researcher, Mia expresses her feelings about the divorce of her parents and how she deals with it in cartoons. The participating children develop brochures for adults on how to deal with their kids during a divorce, a brochure for fellow children of divorce, and a word game. The researchers published their findings on how children perceive fairness in the case of divorce in an international journal. So, is this citizen science or not? Are you quite convinced or not? Is this citizen science for you? You cannot take a decision. Well, actually, if you analyze the case, the project related to these children has all the characteristic of citizen science, because there is an active involvement of the participants. There is the research topic, the research question. We would like to know more about the reaction of children to divorce. We have a mutual benefit because the children co-create with the researcher these materials to support them in this experience. And we also have, obviously, the feedback. When we co-create, we also have feedback. And we also have probably an evaluation of the impacts of our project. Again, this is the typical aspect of a citizen science project. Okay. Okay. Well, from the analysis of the principles of citizen science, I think it clearly emerges that doing research with citizen science requires a great commitment from the researchers. Beyond their usual work, they must take care of the relationship with the volunteers, handle their training, verify the data, and so on. So the great question is, why should researchers put in all this extra effort in their job? What advantages does it give me? And well, actually, there are many advantages of choosing a citizen science approach. First of all, we have obviously scientific benefits. When more people participate in the research process, discoveries arrive faster. Think of how during the COVID pandemic, the collective efforts of science allowed for a vaccine to be found within a year, something impossible in other conditions. So participation improved the spatial and temporal resolution of our data, but through the contamination and the comparison also between different point of views can also generate new research questions, and above all, the participation of people improve the trust of society in the methods of science, and also in the indications that research provides. Then we have social benefits because it helps researchers to identify research topics that have an interest for society. It can promote the social inclusion of disadvantaged groups of people. But citizen science also improves the sense of self-efficacy of the communities towards specific problems or challenges that they can try to solve out in first person. And above all, it also facilitates the creation of a more transparent and democratic research. Obviously, not so obviously, sorry. Citizen science also can have political benefits. The benefits of citizen science extend also to this sphere because it stimulates citizens to play an active role within their community. It can call the attention of authorities to themes that are relevant for citizens. And also it can help in fostering communication, as well as the monitoring or the evaluation of the effects of some specific laws or political action. And last but not least, citizen science also have many educational benefits, but educational benefits that concern you closely as teachers. But this part, I would save this part for the next webinar that is going to specifically address this topic. So don't miss the next appointment to discover more about the educational benefits. And one last detail that could interest you, and on which you could also maybe leverage to support the inclusion of citizen science activities within your curricula, is the connection that this can have with the Sustainable Development Goals and the themes of the Agenda 2030. In this slide, you can see an infographic taken from 2020 articles, 20,000, sorry, 20 articles that shows the different sustainable development goals here on the left, with the respective sub-targets that you can also review by scanning the QR code on the right, because they are many. The green squares show you the targets that citizen science is already contributing to monitor, while in yellow, those in which citizen science could give a contribution. And you can see that out of 170 targets, more than 80 are those that have some link with citizen science. So it's something very significant from this point of view. And among these, there is obviously also the SDG number 13, which concerns climate change and which allows us to land, let's say like this, at the third and last part of our presentation. But again, before leaving the floor to Maria Vittoria, I would like to know if there are other questions related to this part. Otherwise, we can move to the third one. Yes, I heard something.
Okay. Good morning. Good evening.
Maria Vittoria?
We have, excuse me, Maria Vittoria, we have a question in the chat.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Very quickly from Maria Vittoria Maratea. And she asked, what does could contribute mean? Like, what is the potential contribution of citizen science in the CGs mean?
Okay.
If you could specify.
Yeah. The article was a review about all the citizen science project run around the world, and they tried to link the targets of the SDGs with the aims of the citizen science project. So, for example, they analyze all the citizen science project related to to water, for example, and they realized that the activities that the volunteers usually do within this project help in assessing the process within the SDGs targets. So, for example, if we talk about water security for people, there are several citizen science projects that try to monitor water quality. So in this sense, the citizen science project were directly related to a specific SDG target. Similarly, I don't know, all the possible citizen science project related to biodiversity monitoring also help with the SDG number. Sorry, let's see, what was the number? Number 15, for example. So we also have, for example, all these yellow targets are targets where citizen science could play a role, but at the moment hasn't already proved somehow. Okay, so if we have, for example, citizen science project in the health environment, we can also try to support the progress in all these kind of goals. So this is the sense of the paper that, if you are interested in, I can also share with you. So it's not such a technical article. So if you are interested, we can try to share it.
I sure am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, maybe Maria Vittoria, if you like, I can just introduce your part.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
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 Please.
Well,
Okay.
Anyway.
No, I just add this little introduction to the third part, because keep in mind that the involvement of citizens is one of the pillars of the latest EU mission on climate adaptation, where the urgency of a collective action in the fight against climate changes is emphasized. So by now we are aware that if we want to have a resilient communities willing to change their behaviors and also ready to react to the changes in progress, we must be able to involve everyone, especially the young generation and also the most marginalized groups of people within our society. And in this, as you can imagine, citizen science can be of great help to us. So now I leave the floor to Maria Vittoria to walk you through some specific examples. So
Thank
here
you,
we are.
Thank you, Chiara. I would like to apologize for you for my English, but my not fluently English. So I'm sorry, but I try to explain some project by citizen science. In the world, there are many citizen science projects proposed by different research institutions, which allow to contribute to science research. The topics are very different: biodiversity and ecosystem, astronomy, public health, history, archaeology, medicine, urban environmental quality, and climate change. The help to help people find this project, some international platform have been created. The name are Zooniverse, She Starters, EU Citizen Science, but this part of this presentation we would like to show some example because about platform we talk about in the next webinar. Okay, the first project that I will present is are two projects, CLA DRE and Clima 10 lode. The first CLA data at Citizen Science Citizen Science for Italian Climate Data Rescue is a project that help recover all the meteorological data that exist only on paper in historical archives. These data are important because they help scientists by past climate and understanding climate change. This project is also offered to schools by CLA Data at school, and high school students help digitate old weather records. Student copy data from scanner methodological register in SpeedSteeds. Scientists then check the data and add them to Open Climate database. Students also attend seminar about meteorology and climate change. So the student can help researcher to scan and registers this data. More than 5,000 students from over 10 Italian schools participate and digitate about 4,000 pages, creating 6,000 climate data series. A lot of data can digitate it. The second project is 10 lode.
Sorry.
Sorry, the second project is 10 lode, which focus on meteorological data collected in former Italian colonies. This historical observation from the late 9th, early 20th century are found in archives and all scientific publications. They are rare and very useful to improve global climate reconstruction. It's important data. Both projects help preserve historical climate data, support climate research, and involve citizens and students in real scientific work. It's are important project. Okay.
I move on. Okay.
Okay, sorry. Another citizen science project studied phenology. This project, the same two example for the same project are Natural Calendar in Germany, in Austria. Sorry, in Austria, not in German, I think.
Yeah, Naturkalender in German
In
and
German,
Nature's
not
Calendar.
Austria, sorry, in German, and
No, in Germany and
Natur's
Austria.
calendar,
Yeah.
Natur's calendar in UK. The same, the same project with two different number. Citizens observe plants and animals during the year, and so for plants they record events like new leaves, flowering, fruit, and seed development, and leaf fall in autumn. For animals, they observe migration, reproduction, and other several behaviors. Volunteers also record data, location, and weather conditions, and so a lot of data. In Austria, data are sent with an app or platform, paper forms. Excuse me. In UK, observation are submitted only online on on international maps, interactive maps. The data help scientists study climate change, understand change in nature seasons, and monitor biodiversity. Important. The information is added to national and European scientific databases and can be used to compare environmental changes over many decades. A lot of data in this project too. Okay.
Okay.
I change. Okay. Other project is a European project funded by the Horizon 2020 for program. It involves 16 partners from several countries: Italian, Spain, Netherlands, Belgium, Israel, and Burkina Faso, a lot of country. The project aims to increase awareness about climate change and help people change their behavior to reduce climate impacts, such as heat waves, floods, and drugs. It also helps communities because more resilient to climate change. Citizens participate through workshop, climate laboratories, environmental data collection, and awareness campaigns. They use tools such as mobile apps. An example, flood app. One of app and sensor like meteo tracker to measure temperature, humidity, pressure, and solar radiation. The person have this meteo tracker, and so can measure this. Can do this measure. in different European living lab like Barcelona and Genova, citizens collect temperature data in cities to study the urban heat island effect. Find difference of up to 3 degrees Celsius between city center and suburbs. They also share the information about heat perception and thermal comfort. This data help scientists study climate change and help communities plan better strategy to adapt to urban climate risk. Okay.
We also have a video.
Yes,
about the project.
There is a video, so
I hope
you can understand better the project.
Let's see if it works properly. Okay.
iChange, Citizen Actions on Climate Change and Environment. The iChange project started in November 2021 and will run for 42 months. The project involves 16 organizations from the science community and wider society. Our main goal is to establish citizen science initiatives and show that behavioral change on the part of single citizens can have an impact on the environment. We want to empower people by giving them a better understanding of their individual choices in behavior, lifestyle, and consumption. To achieve this, we will work with citizens in 8 living labs, inviting them for hand-on participation in the monitoring and assessment of different types of environmental data. In the iChange Living Labs, citizens, scientists, and organizations will co-design and implement sensors to monitor local climate and environmental conditions and human behavior. We have chosen 8 different regions for the Living Labs, areas that are particularly affected by climate impacts. In these living labs, we will take into account the diversity in culture, gender, and in the generational and socio-economic context. There will be living labs in Barcelona, Genoa, Bologna, and Jerusalem. In these cities, the warming is significantly faster than the global average. These areas may also be water poor within the coming decades, may suffer from heat extremes, and face the risks of weather extremes such as floods, flash floods, and marine storms. Other living labs will be in Dublin, Amsterdam, and Hasselt. These areas might experience heavy precipitation events, flooding risks in river and coastal areas, winter storms, and even health risks related to indoor and outdoor heat stress. A further living lab will be located in Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso, where land degradation, uncontrolled waste management, climate extremes, and related hazards are causing losses and damage to crops and livelihoods. In all these living labs, experts and citizens will collect data with targeted and personalized tools like sensors and apps. These data will be checked for quality and combined with other data sources, and then made available and accessible via a tool with a user-friendly dashboard. Citizen and civil society have a central role in climate action. That is why we are promoting a paradigm shift grounded in the awareness that the direct involvement of citizens and civil society is essential to drive a real change into climate action. We need to transform our societies into modern, sustainable, and circular economies. Part of this transformation will be brought about by the European Green Deal and the action of citizens within projects such as iChange. Do you want to know more about the iChange project? Visit our website.
Okay.
Okay, thank
So
you.
let's see.
Other
So
project?
you had a hint through the video about the approach that always this kind of project have. So they aim to be inclusive, to consider different kind of stakeholders. So an inclusive approach, a co-created approach that try to involve people also in finding solution to their problems. So this is the spirit of citizen science, to a collective effort to solve problems, to face challenges, and this is also why we like this approach so much. So please, Maria Vittoria.
Yes. Thank you, Chiara. Okay, okay. Yes. Other project that studying urban heat is Calor. It's a project made in Barcelona. And used citizen science to study urban heat and increase climate awareness. The city has many building and few green spaces, so urbanity island effect makes temperature height, especially for vulnerable communities. Citizens participate by measuring temperature in different parts of the city and learning how urban heat works. Heat islands are caused by concrete, asphalt, and lack of green areas. The project are the three phases. First, citizen measure temperature different during workshop, or second, the results were shared in public exhibition and events like Parky Day, and finally citizen and policymaker met workshop to discuss problem and possible solution for better urban planning, and the cycle is closed. The citizen science collect the data, and then citizen science researchers and policymaker find a solution. The projects show that citizen science can support research, involve communities, and help improve urban resilience to climate change. Other important project about this tools. Okay.
Last example.
And last, and last, Kukuras. It is an acronym by of Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network. Is a citizen science project where volunteers measure and report precipitation, rain, hail, and snow in their local area. Citizens use a standard rain gauge and record daily measurement from their homes or schools, and then up upload the data on online database and interactive maps. The network started in Colorado in 1998 after several floods, and it now includes thousands of volunteers across the United States and other countries near United States.
And we also have a video. Also
I have a video too, yes, so we can.
Yeah, Kokoras
because if in the website when you go visit website, you can find a lot of material about this project, power PDF, and a lot of material to use for your students, and so it's a website, a rich website.
Okay. Let's see the video.
Calling all educators. Did you get any rain or snow yesterday? Have you stopped to think that it probably doesn't rain the same amount from one place to another? How wet did you get? Well, have we got a program for you. You're probably wondering what Kokoraz is. Kokoraz, the Community Collaborative Rain, Hail, and Snow Network, is made up of thousands of people just like you, mapping and measuring rain and snow as it falls from the sky. Once they collect their measurement, it's only a matter of entering the amounts into our website that shows a picture of how much rain fell across the nation. Why is that good? Take a look at these two cookies. Which would you rather have? The one with a few chocolate chips or the one with a whole lot? The chippy one, right? Well, the same goes with measuring precipitation. Each chip is a measurement, and the more chips on the map, the more meaningful it is to scientists, and it can tell us more about our world. And I was just thinking, you know who could help us add more measurements to our map? Schools! Why, you may ask? The cool thing about Kokoraz is that it is a great way for kids of all ages, K through 12 and beyond, to learn about where our water comes from and how the atmosphere works. Students will learn a ton by using and reading a real scientific instrument. Recording data and entering it online is great for students who are learning computer skills. For older students, there are opportunities to do more advanced measurements and also conduct their own data analysis. Participating in Kokoraz activities meets several of the state and national standards for science, as well as math, geography, and more. And who uses the data? More like who doesn't use the data. Farmers need to know how much it rained in order not to overwater their crops. City water managers use Kokoraz data to both improve water supply forecasts and to monitor and anticipate water demand. Ski areas, whitewater rafting companies, reservoirs for boating, and even professional sports teams use the information too. The National Weather Service uses precipitation data for something called ground validation. This is where they compare the predictions and estimations to what actually happened. Using data from your school, weather forecasters can compare their radar and satellite images and hopefully, in the future, improve their predictions. And you know we would all love that. No school 2 weeks from Tuesday. The cost of a rain gauge is normally about $30, but as a school, the Kokoraz Education Coordinator may be able to help find a donation. He'll find a way. He'll also help you with instructions, lesson plans, and will even connect you with other volunteers who can assist in getting you started. So come and join, and soon you'll be like us. Cuckoo for Kokoraz.
Oh my God. Okay. So
the Finnish one.
Yeah, thank you, Maria Vittoria, for this roundup of projects. I'm sure that in your teacher's mind, you have already sensed how much citizen science represents an incredible opportunity for the greening of your school curricula, promoting the development of green skills, offering contextualized case studies, working in an interdisciplinary manner, and above all, also guiding a change, not only within your classroom, but also in the entire school. So precisely these aspects will be the focus of the next webinar, in which we are going to analyze citizen science from an educational point of view. We try to present the platforms and the tools available, and the reasons, and also we try to reason. We will try also a more interactive approach, probably, to what are the challenges and the opportunities that this approach had for schools. So we hope you enjoyed today's session, although we don't have such a lot of interaction. But obviously, Maria, Vittoria, and I are totally available for question. As I told you previously, we will share the PDF of these slides. Maybe we have to check for some link or other things that could arise now in the question time. So you can review everything at your own pace. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Chiara and Maria Vittoria, very much for your explanations. I think the last project really resonated with a lot of people, the Kokoras.
Yeah.
That's a funny video also.
Yes, a funny, an educational from student video.
Yes. I'd like to say a lot of things, but since we're running out of time, maybe it's better if we skip to the questions that we are on the chat. I see one from Maria Vittoria that thanks you for your presentation, and she asked, would have been
yeah, I can try to answer.
If there are similar projects on the topic.
Sorry for my English.
Yeah, in the next webinar, we would like to share with you some platforms that work like repositories of citizen science projects. So there are these very useful tools also for teachers, for everyone that is interested in citizen science, where you can find all the citizen science projects that are currently running in your area. We have this platform at different spatial scales, so from the Italian, from the national level to the worldwide level. So you can check for projects that cover a very large kind of fields and topics, but I won't spoiler now this. Otherwise, the next time it's too hard.
Talk about this platform and the project that they contain. Yes. And the European citizen science and Italian citizen science. We talk about this.
I see a question from Daniela. What are the limitations of citizen science, if any? Obviously, there are some limitations. Also, in the 10 principles, it's stated that citizen science is a scientific research methods, but as all these scientific methods have some limitations that must be taken into account when you work with citizen science. Obviously, one of the most obvious topic is related to data quality, because when you work with a non-expert public, you must take into account that the quality that people collect needs a kind of validation from researchers. So this is for sure one of the most hot topic when working with citizen science. Obviously, there are also some possible solutions to mitigate these problems. For example, trainings is the key word in citizen science.
Important.
It's one of the most important part when,
easy protocol, for example.
Exactly.
The citizen scientist must use easy protocol. It's and researcher must change to be easy and to research easy protocol. It's one of the important elements of citizen science, and trainer is other one, and the result.
Sorry, Marivita, another important limitation of citizen science is the retainment of volunteers, especially if you have long-running project. One of the challenges is to maintain people involved in the data collection, in the different activities, but also this kind of details will be considered in the next webinar for sure, especially linked to the school system and the school timing and schedule. I can imagine also exactly, as also Wendy wrote in the chat. Obviously they have specific tasks, they have limited responsibility, but they're also a matter of power balance between the researcher and the volunteers. Obviously, citizen science is not exploitation of people that do the dirty job instead of the researcher. It's a collaboration. Obviously, the researcher maintain a role of scientific supervision of the project, but the most we can do with volunteers, with common people, the most successful is our project for sure. Absolutely, Wendy. Thank you for the insight.
Different challenges of public participation. And so, I think we are done. We have one last
thing. I just say hello to Marco Michelotti? That was my English teacher at the high school. I'm very happy.
Thanks a lot, Chiara. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
I hope my English was not so bad.
It was great. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Very interesting presentation. Thanks a lot to you both.
Thank you.
Great. I think we have one last thing for you, our participants, which is to file the usual Mentimeter and other Mentimeter, this time to evaluate your experience during this webinar as usual. So thanks again, Chiara and Maria Vittoria. We look forward to being with you next Thursday for the second installment of your webinar, and in presence during the festival Living with Grace in Trento. So I think that's it. Thanks again, everyone, for taking part in this webinar, and see you soon.
Thanks a lot again.
Thank you very much.
Bye.